The day began like any other. Cities woke to the noise of traffic, markets filled with people, and children walked to school with backpacks bouncing on their shoulders. The sky was clear blue, and the world felt calm. But at 9:12 a.m., something strange happened. It started with the birds. They stopped singing. Entire parks fell silent. Dogs began to bark at the empty sky. Cows in the fields ran in circles. It was as if the animals felt something humans could not. Then came the shadow. At first, it looked like a dark cloud drifting slowly across the horizon. People pointed at it from streets and rooftops, unsure what they were seeing. Weather stations checked their satellites, no storms, no clouds on radar. But the shadow kept growing. Within minutes, it covered half the sky, thick and heavy like someone had thrown a giant blanket over the sun. Daylight dimmed until the world looked like evening. Cars switched on their headlights in confusion. Traffic stopped. People climbed out to stare upward. "Is it an eclipse?" someone asked. "No eclipse today," another replied, voice shaking. But this was no eclipse. The shadow moved like a living thing, stretching from ocean to ocean. It rolled over cities, forests, deserts, and mountains. Planes changed course to avoid it. Fishermen at sea froze in fear as the sunlight vanished above them. Then the ground began to tremble. Out in the Pacific Ocean, the sea started to boil. At first, ships nearby thought it was an earthquake. Waves rose high, circling one single point as if the ocean was afraid of something below. Then came the roar, a deep, metallic sound that made the air shake. And slowly, something began to rise. It broke the surface like a mountain lifting itself from the sea. Water exploded off its sides in waterfalls. The waves turned white with foam as metal towers emerged from the deep. Gasps went across the world. A single massive shape climbed out of the ocean, so huge it made aircraft carriers look like toys. The top of it reached above the clouds, a dark fortress of steel and fire. Its surface shone black and silver, carved with lines of light glowing like lava. It was a ship, but nothing like Earth had ever seen. Or at least, that's what people believed. The Galactic Council saw it too. Far across the stars, in a chamber of glass and gold, alien leaders gathered around their screens. "This is not possible," said a reptilian envoy, its tail lashing nervously. "Humans cannot build such a thing." A creature with crystal skin spoke next, voice trembling. "The energy core. It matches the legends of the old wars." Another alien, his armor cracked from age, slammed the table. "Destroy it before it wakes. If the stories are true, none of us are safe." The room fell silent at those words. Everyone knew the old wars were more than myths. They were warnings. Entire civilizations had vanished in those ancient battles. On Earth, the ship kept rising. It climbed higher and higher until half its body floated above the clouds. Towers rose from its deck like black spears. Huge cannons turned slowly, pointing at the sky as if daring anyone to come close. It blocked the sun completely. Some people prayed. Some screamed. Others simply stared in silent awe. News anchors called it the planet killer. The United Nations met in emergency session. Military leaders demanded answers no one could give. Every nation denied building it. No secret project claimed it. And yet, on its side was painted the flag of Earth. At 9:56 a.m., a strange signal went out. Not in English, not in Chinese, not in any human tongue. It was a universal code, instantly translated by alien and human systems alike. 3 words. Do not interfere. Every screen on Earth went dark after the message. In the council chamber, panic broke loose. Some demanded fleets to attack before it powered up. Others shouted that attacking it would bring the end of them all. "Do you not understand?" one alien cried. "The humans woke the weapon. We saw it once before, ages ago. It does not destroy planets because it wants to. It destroys because it can." On Earth, the ship hovered silently, lights pulsing along its surface like a sleeping giant breathing slowly. No sound, no movement, just the shadow covering half the world. People waited for war. But the planet killer waited too. And that silence was worse than any threat. Far away from Earth, beyond bright stars and dark nebulae, the great galactic council chamber floated in space like a glittering crown. It was the heart of power for hundreds of civilizations. Here laws were made. Wars were ended. Empires obeyed. But today, the chamber shook with fear. On giant screens above the hall, every delegate watched the same scene. A colossal ship rising from Earth's oceans, throwing shadows across cities and mountains, its metal towers glowing like fire. The planet killer. The room was silent at first. Delegates from insectoid worlds, crystal empires, reptilian clans, and machine kingdoms all stared in frozen disbelief. Finally, one voice broke the silence. This cannot be real, hissed the Esotor ambassador, his scaled hands trembling. Humans are a young race, primitive. They build small warships. Not this. The hologram above them showed the ship turning slowly in Earth's sky. Its size alone crushed the air from the room. It is real, replied the Talari queen, her 6 eyes glowing faintly blue. Our long-range sensors confirm the readings. Power levels beyond anything we have ever seen. A whisper ran through the chamber. Beyond anything? Yes, the queen said. Stronger than our dreadnought fleets. Stronger than the Corsun bombs we banned after the last war. Stronger than even the council itself. That last sentence sent panic through the room. The council leader, an ancient being made of living light, floated above his golden throne. His voice boomed like thunder across the chamber. Control yourselves. It is only one ship. But even he sounded unsure. Because deep down, every leader remembered the legends. Long ago, before the council ruled the galaxy, there were wars so terrible that entire species disappeared. Weapons that cracked moons in half. Machines that swallowed suns. Stories told of a final weapon. A planet killer built by an unknown race, then lost to time. Some believed it was destroyed. Others believed it was sleeping, waiting. And now, on the small blue planet called Earth, something had woken up. Maybe it is not theirs, said the insectoid delegate, his wings buzzing nervously. Perhaps the humans found it by accident. But the hologram showed something strange. A giant Earth flag painted on the side of the ship. The entire chamber erupted. Impossible! Humans did not have this power before. We should send fleets. Destroy it before they use it. Voices shouted over one another. One ambassador, old and scarred from past wars, stood slowly. His voice was quiet but carried across the chaos. You fools, he said. Do you not see? If they can raise such a weapon, they are no longer the humans you think they are. Attack them, and it will be our worlds that burn first. Silence fell again. He pointed toward the hologram where the planet killer floated above Earth like a dark god. Look at it, he whispered. It has not fired. It has not moved. It only waits. That is the most dangerous kind of power. The kind that does not need to shout. Some delegates demanded communication with Earth. Others wanted to prepare evacuation ships for their people. A few suggested surrender before war even began. But the council leader raised his hand. We will send a message, he said finally. We will ask the humans what they want. Perhaps this will end with words, not fire. As they spoke, smaller alien empires across the galaxy were already panicking. On trade moons and mining worlds, news spread faster than light. The humans have a weapon that can kill planets. Some governments began collapsing that very hour. Others started moving entire populations off vulnerable colonies. Merchant guilds burned records, afraid Earth might come for their wealth next. Fear traveled faster than warships. Back in the council chamber, a messenger drone arrived from Earth. The entire room turned toward it as it floated in. The screen lit up. A human general appeared on the hologram, old, stern, his uniform black with silver stars on the shoulders. His face was calm. Too calm. The delegates waited for demands. But the general only said 4 words. Do not test us. Then the signal cut. The chamber fell into chaos again. They threaten us. Destroy the ship now. No, wait. What if it is not alone? Because that was the fear growing in every alien mind. What if Earth had more of these planet killers? The council leader sat back in his golden throne, light dimming around him. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy's rulers felt powerless. And outside, in the dark void beyond the council's walls, alien civilians looked toward Earth with one silent prayer. Please, let them show mercy. The planet killer floated above Earth like a sleeping giant. For 2 long days, it did nothing. It didn't move. It didn't speak. It only hovered in the sky, its massive shadow falling over oceans, cities, and mountains. At night, its lights glowed red and gold like veins of fire running across its black metal skin. People on Earth looked up and whispered prayers. Some called it a blessing. Others called it a curse. But nobody could ignore it. And far beyond Earth, the galaxy couldn't stop watching. The Galactic Council grew restless. In secret meetings, alien leaders shouted over one another. "We must destroy it before it destroys us," cried the reptilian Esitor ambassador, his tail lashing in anger. "Attack it?" laughed the Talari queen bitterly, her 6 blue eyes burning. "Did you see what it did to the seas? Our fleets would be nothing but toys before that thing." "We can't wait forever," another delegate snapped. "Every hour we waste, humans grow bolder. They might build more of these ships. If we don't act now, it will be too late." The chamber fell silent at those words, because deep down, everyone feared he might be right. So the council made a choice. Not a full attack, no one was foolish enough for that. Instead, they sent a warning. The Zorith Empire, proud and arrogant, volunteered first. Their fleets were vast, their ships covered in silver armor with plasma cannons that had crushed entire rebel worlds before. The Zorith commander spoke only one sentence before leaving the chamber. "If humans want war, we will give them fear." And so, a fleet of 50 warships left Zorith space, engines burning bright against the stars. They moved fast, crossing light years in hours. The galaxy watched their approach like spectators before a deadly arena match. Would the humans surrender? Would they fight back? Would the planet killer finally awaken? On Earth, the massive ship remained silent as the alien fleet entered orbit. People watched through telescopes and news broadcasts as the alien ships formed a ring above the planet, weapons glowing with deadly blue light. One reporter whispered on live broadcast, "Maybe they only want to scare us." But nobody felt reassured, because everyone knew, when fleets arrive with weapons ready, someone always fires first. The Zorith commander sent a message to Earth. "Deactivate your weapon," he said, his voice like cold iron, "or we will fire." The humans didn't answer. Minutes passed. The alien commander gave the order. The first missile streaked across the sky, a bright blue trail cutting through the darkness. It was aimed near the planet killer, not at it, just a warning shot. The missile exploded in the upper atmosphere, a ball of fire lighting the night sky above Earth. The alien fleet waited. The humans stayed silent. So the commander gave the next order. "Fire closer." 5 missiles launched this time. They exploded only a few kilometers from the planet killer's hull. The shock waves rippled across the clouds. Still, the giant ship didn't move. Some of the alien captains began to laugh. "Maybe it is just a bluff," one said. "Maybe it doesn't even work." The commander smirked. "Then we will make the first move. Prepare the main cannons." He never finished his sentence, because at that moment, the planet killer woke. Without warning, its black hull lit up with blinding red lines, glowing like rivers of lava. The air around it shook. Energy readings spiked so high that alien sensors began to scream with alarms. Before the alien fleet could react, one of the planet killer's massive cannons turned slowly and fired, just once. A single beam of red-white energy shot across space. The lead Zorith battleship, the pride of their fleet, a vessel longer than any Earth city, vanished in a flash of light. Not destroyed, not broken, erased. The space where it had been was now empty, as if the ship had never existed. The remaining alien ships froze. The commanders screamed orders to retreat, but it was too late. The planet killer fired again. Another beam. Another battleship gone. The galaxy watched in horror as two ships worth entire empires simply disappeared. The alien fleet scattered in panic, engines flaring as they fled toward the edges of the solar system. But the planet killer didn't chase them. It only hovered above Earth once more, silent and cold, like a predator that had swatted away flies. It had made its point. Across the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. If this was what one shot could do, what would happen if Earth truly became angry? For the first time in history, the great empires of the stars felt small. And somewhere deep in the council chamber, one trembling ambassador whispered the thought on everyone's mind. What if this is only their first weapon? The news of the Zorith fleet's defeat spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, people gathered around glowing screens, giant holoprojectors, and public message boards. They watched the same terrifying moment replay again and again. The planet killer firing a single red beam, one battleship vanishing into nothingness, then another, as if they had never existed at all. The fear was instant, because the Zorith Empire had ruled the stars for centuries. Their fleets were so powerful that smaller empires had surrendered without even fighting. Yet this human weapon had destroyed them in seconds, without even moving from Earth's sky. And it hadn't spoken a single word. On the Zorith homeworld, the Emperor himself locked the palace gates. His ministers screamed at each other, demanding to rebuild the fleet, but the people outside the golden walls were already panicking. Shops closed. Factories stopped working. Millions fled the capital city, fearing Earth's wrath would come next. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Zorith Empire looked weak. Other empires were no better. On the crystal worlds of the Talari Kingdom, priests declared the planet killer was a weapon of the gods, awakened to punish arrogance. The Talari Queen ordered every research lab to study the battle footage, searching for answers, but her own people had already begun leaving the outer colonies. "Run to the deep systems," they cried. "Earth will burn us all." On the insectoid planets of the Scar Dominion, soldiers deserted the army by the thousands. Scar commanders shouted for discipline, but their troops had seen the recordings. "What good are guns?" one soldier said bitterly, "against a weapon that erases ships like dust?" And on trade worlds across the galaxy, the powerful merchant guilds, who once controlled the flow of food, medicine, and technology, met in secret. "The age of the council is over," one merchant whispered. "When Earth speaks, we will listen. They will be the new power now." Another merchant nodded grimly. "If they demand our wealth, we will give it. Better to lose gold than lose our worlds." Back in the council chamber, chaos ruled. Some delegates shouted for peace talks. Others demanded evacuation plans for their capitals. A few even suggested surrender before Earth made more weapons like the planet killer. The council leader floated above them, his form of living light dimmer than usual. For centuries, his voice had commanded respect across galaxies. But today, even he sounded tired. "Order must remain," he said slowly. "We cannot let fear destroy the civilizations we have built." But as he spoke, reports kept coming in. Riots on the Zorith homeworld. Soldiers deserting on the Scar colonies. Entire mining moons abandoned overnight. Merchants moving their fortunes to secret systems far from council space. Civilizations were collapsing. Not from Earth's attack, but from fear itself. On Earth, the planet killer remained silent. It did not move. It did not fire again. It simply floated above the clouds, black and gold lights pulsing slowly across its enormous hull, as if watching everything waiting. And that silence was worse than any threat, because if Earth had wanted to destroy the galaxy, why hadn't it done so already? What was it waiting for? In a mining village on the edge of the Zorith Empire, a young worker watched the holographic news with trembling hands. "They'll come for us next," he whispered to his wife. "We work the council's mines. Maybe Earth will burn the whole system." His wife shook her head. "No. Didn't you see? They only fired when attacked. Maybe they only want peace." But the worker stared at the sky as if expecting fire to fall at any moment. Some alien leaders tried to calm their people. The Talari queen made a speech, her 6 blue eyes glowing softly. "Do not fear Earth," she said. "If we show respect, perhaps they will forgive us. Perhaps they will not destroy what we have built." But her words failed, because the galaxy had seen the truth. The Council, the empires, the fleets, none of them were in control anymore. One planet held the power of life and death over them all. Back in the council chamber, the old scarred ambassador spoke again. "You all argue about peace or war," he said quietly, "but you do not understand the danger." The planet killer destroyed 2 ships, then stopped. That was a warning. The next time, it will not stop. The chamber fell silent, because deep down every leader knew he was right. For the first time in history, the galaxy's greatest powers felt small. And somewhere on Earth, inside the planet killer's command center, human generals watched the chaos spreading across the stars and said nothing. The weapon hovered above the world like a shadow of judgment, waiting for the next foolish empire to test its patience. The galaxy had never known fear like this. For thousands of years, empires had fought, conquered, and ruled. The Galactic Council had always been the center of power, its fleets the strongest, its words the law across 1,000 stars. But now, none of it mattered. One human weapon, one ship, had broken everything. The planet killer floated above Earth, silent and waiting. It did not need to speak. It did not need to threaten. The images of 2 Zorith battleships disappearing into nothing were enough to bring entire civilizations to their knees. On the Zorith homeworld, the Emperor himself made the first move. For centuries, his empire had never bowed to anyone. The Zorith had crushed rebels, burned planets, and demanded tribute from weaker worlds. But today, the mighty Emperor sat before a camera, his golden crown heavy on his trembling head. We wish for peace," he said, voice shaking. "Tell the humans, we will not fight them. We will not challenge them again." The speech spread across the galaxy within minutes. The proudest empire in the stars had just begged for mercy. Other leaders followed quickly. On the crystal world of Talari, the queen addressed her people. "Send gifts to Earth," she ordered. "Technology, rare metals, medicine, anything they ask for. Show them respect before they choose to destroy us." The Talari people filled cargo ships with treasures and launched them toward Earth's orbit, even before humans asked for anything. The Scar Dominion, a race of insectoid warriors known for never surrendering, sent a message to Earth. "We offer soldiers," their general said. "Our armies will fight for you if you spare our worlds." 1,000 warlike colonies offering loyalty to one planet. It had never happened before in galactic history. In the council chamber, panic turned into desperation. Delegates who had once shouted for war now spoke with trembling voices. "Send diplomats," one said. "Offer them trade rights," another suggested. "Give them council seats. Let them rule with us." But deep inside, everyone knew the truth. The humans didn't need the council. The humans didn't need anyone. On Earth, the human generals watched the messages come in. Every hour, more alien governments sent transmissions begging for peace. Some offered gold. Some offered fleets. Some even offered entire planets if Earth would promise not to attack. But Earth stayed silent. Not a single reply was sent. The planet killer floated above the clouds like a giant executioner holding back its blade, and the galaxy grew more terrified with every hour of silence. One alien leader, the ruler of the merchant guilds, finally decided to go himself. His name was Varric, a creature of silver skin and golden eyes, known for his wealth and power. He arrived on Earth in a small shuttle, landing near the Pacific Ocean where the planet killer's shadow covered the waves. Human soldiers met him on the beach, silent and armed. "I come in peace," Varric said quickly, his voice shaking. "I bring gifts, rare minerals, advanced technology, entire fleets of cargo ships. Take them. Take anything you want. Only, do not destroy us." The soldiers said nothing. They simply escorted him to the base near the planet killer, where Earth's generals waited. Inside the command center, Varric stood before a table of human officers. "You have the power to end us all," he said, his golden eyes wide with fear. But you have not attacked. What do you want from us? Tribute? Control of the council? Tell us, and it will be yours. For a long time, the humans gave no answer. Then the oldest general in the room spoke, his voice calm but cold. We want nothing, he said. We warned you once. Do not interfere with Earth. Do not threaten us again. That is all. Varric blinked in shock. That's all. The general's eyes narrowed. Disobey? And next time, there will be no warning. Varric returned to the council with Earth's message. The galaxy listened in stunned silence. Earth didn't want tribute. Earth didn't want control. Earth only wanted peace, on its own terms. But the warning was clear. Challenge us, and you will cease to exist. On distant worlds, people began praying to the humans as if they were gods. On others, governments collapsed under the weight of fear. The council itself trembled. No one dared suggest war now, because deep inside, every leader knew the truth. If Earth could erase battleships in seconds, it could erase planets just as easily. And above the clouds, the planet killer floated silently, waiting, its dark shadow stretching across the stars like a promise of judgment yet to come. The galaxy waited in silence. Days passed since Earth's final warning. No attacks came. No demands for tribute. No fleets of human soldiers claiming conquered worlds. Only the planet killer remained, its shadow falling over Earth and its dark silhouette seen on every alien broadcast across the stars. Some called it a weapon. Others called it a god. But no one truly understood what it was, or where it came from. Until now, the council had begged Earth for answers. At first, the humans said nothing. Their silence made the galaxy tremble even more. But finally, after endless requests, Earth agreed to speak once. A transmission went out to the entire council chamber, every alien leader waiting in tense silence. The screen flickered. An old human general appeared, dressed in a black uniform marked with silver stars. His face was calm, his eyes cold. Behind him, through the window, the enormous planet killer floated above the Pacific, silent as ever. You want to know what this ship is? The general said slowly. You want to know why it rose from the oceans and why your fleets ran in fear? No one in the council spoke. The general leaned forward. Then listen carefully. He began to tell the story. Centuries ago, before the council ruled the galaxy, before most alien empires even rose, there were wars unlike anything known today. Civilizations had weapons that cracked moons, machines that drank suns dry, fleets so large they could block out the stars. It was an age of fire. It was an age when entire species vanished in a single day. And in that chaos, someone built the planet killer. No one knew the name of the builders. Some believed they were human ancestors. Others said they were a race long extinct. But the weapon was real. It ended the old wars by making everyone fear it more than they hated each other. Then, it disappeared. Some thought it was destroyed. Others thought it had drifted into the void of space forever. But in truth, the general said, the planet killer had been hidden on Earth waiting. The council chamber erupted. Impossible! Shouted the Talari queen. Earth was a primitive world, barely spacefaring until a few centuries ago. The human general didn't smile. Yes, he said, because we chose to stay silent. While you fought wars and built empires, Earth rebuilt the weapon. We repaired its systems. We studied its technology. We learned its secrets while you ignored us, thinking we were weak. His eyes turned hard. And we waited. The delegates shifted nervously in their seats. You see, the general continued, we watched the council. We saw your fleets burn smaller worlds. We saw empires enslave weaker species. We saw you rule through fear. He leaned closer to the camera. And we knew one day you would come for us too. The room fell silent. So Earth prepared, quietly, patiently, for centuries. And when the day finally came, when alien fleets dared to threaten Earth, the planet killer rose again, no longer sleeping. You fear this weapon, the general said. But it exists for one reason only, to stop you. The Talari Queen's voice shook. Stop us? Or rule us? The general's eyes turned cold. Rule you? He said softly. If we wanted your worlds, they would already be ours. If we wanted war, your fleets would already be ash. We want only one thing. He paused, letting his words burn into every mind across the galaxy. Peace, on our terms. In the council chamber, no one spoke. The truth was clear now. Earth had never been weak. It had only been quiet, waiting, watching. And now, no empire, no fleet, no council dared to move against it. On alien worlds across the stars, civilians listened to the broadcast in silence. Some wept in relief, others in terror. For centuries, they had thought the council invincible. Now, even the council bowed before Earth's power. In distant temples, priests called the humans chosen by fate. On military worlds, soldiers looked at the sky with new fear, knowing their weapons were useless now. And in the council itself, the leaders finally understood. The galaxy belonged to whoever had the planet killer. And only Earth had it. The human general ended the transmission with a final warning. Do not mistake our silence for weakness. We will not attack unless attacked. But if you bring war to Earth again, there will be no second warning. The screen went black. The council chamber stayed silent for a long, long time. Above Earth, the planet killer floated like a dark promise, its glowing lines pulsing slowly in the night sky. The galaxy now knew the truth. Earth had been preparing for centuries, and now, nothing could stand against it. The galaxy was never the same after the broadcast. Every empire, every fleet, every colony across the stars now understood the truth. Earth had held its silence for centuries, waiting, watching, preparing. The planet killer was not a legend anymore. It was real. It was awake. And it belonged to humanity alone. But what would Earth do now? That was the question burning in every mind. Would they conquer? Would they destroy? Or would they simply sit in silence, holding power so great that no one dared breathe without their permission? The answer came the next day. Above Earth, the planet killer finally moved. For weeks it had hovered like a dark mountain in the sky, its shadow covering oceans and cities. Now its engines glowed red, and slowly, the giant ship rose higher into orbit. Across the galaxy, people watched through live broadcasts as the planet killer left Earth's atmosphere for the first time. It was heading toward the Council's homeworld. Panic spread instantly. On the Council planet, civilians filled the streets. Some fled to the spaceports, screaming for ships to take them away. Others fell to their knees, praying to the skies as if gods themselves were coming. The Council leaders ordered fleets to stand down. No one wanted to risk provoking the weapon, because if the planet killer had come to attack, nothing could stop it. But when the ship finally entered orbit around the Council world, it did not fire. It simply hovered above the capital city, casting its enormous shadow over the grand spires and golden towers below. Then a signal came. The same human general appeared on every screen, his voice calm but carrying the weight of mountains. Leaders of the galaxy, he said, listen well. We come not for conquest. We come for change. Inside the council chamber, the alien delegates sat frozen. For centuries, they had ruled with fleets and fear. Entire worlds had paid tribute to stay safe. Weak civilizations had been used as tools by the stronger ones. The council had brought order, yes, but also chains. And now Earth had come to break those chains. You have fought your wars, the general said. You have enslaved worlds. You have crushed weaker species under your boots. Those days are over. He leaned closer to the camera, his eyes cold as stone. From this day forward, there will be no more war among the stars. No more fleets burning planets. No more empires ruling through terror. Earth will not allow it. Gasps filled the council chamber. Are you saying, one delegate stammered, that Earth will govern the galaxy? The general's voice was steady. We will not govern. We will enforce. There is a difference. Keep your worlds. Keep your councils. But if you bring war to the innocent again, the planet killer will return. And it will not be to talk. The message spread across the stars like fire in dry grass. On warlike worlds, generals threw down their weapons in silence. On mining colonies, workers cheered, knowing they would no longer live under fear of invasion. On trade planets, merchants whispered to each other that a new age had begun. An age where profit no longer came from selling weapons to endless wars. And in hidden corners of the galaxy, where slavers and raiders once ruled, entire criminal fleets vanished overnight, afraid the planet killer might come for them next. In the council chamber, the leaders finally bowed their heads. For centuries, they had been the highest power in the galaxy. Now they were only voices before the judgment of Earth. We agree, the council leader said at last, his form of living light dim and trembling. There will be peace. No more wars. The human general nodded once. See that you remember, he said. Then the signal ended. Above the council world, the planet killer turned slowly, engines glowing as it prepared to leave. Billions watched in silence as the giant ship vanished into the stars, heading back toward Earth. It had not fired a single shot. It had not needed to. Weeks passed. The galaxy changed. Old empires collapsed without wars to hold them together. Smaller worlds found freedom for the first time in centuries. Trade flourished where battles had once raged. No one dared break the new law, because the shadow of the planet killer was always there. A silent promise written across the stars. Bring war, and Earth will come. On Earth, the generals finally stood down. The weapon returned to the oceans, sinking slowly beneath the waves where it had slept for so long. But the galaxy never forgot, because that was the day the balance of power shifted forever. The day when Earth rose from silence, and the stars learned to fear its name.